Perhaps you have never thought about it from this angle. But everything you feel about money is actually not about money, but about yourself. When you think, I don't have enough, you are not talking about finances, but about your fear. When you say, I need to work more, you mean not the effort, but the anxiety. Money is not a goal, but a reflection. You can read books, make plans, and calculate budgets. But if there's an internal voice saying, this is not for me, I am not worthy, I can't do it, reality hears exactly that and responds, you weren't bad with money. You were taught by parents who worried, by teachers who taught compliance, by a world that instilled, money is complicated and dirty. But this is not yours. It's a virus, an old, broken code. And if you're here now, you're already ready to replace it. This video is not about life hacks or motivation. It's a setup, so you can hear. Money is not a reward. It's a frequency. And you are the point where it can pass through. Put on headphones. Don't think. Listen. Watch not with your mind, but with your body. And feel how everything you thought about money can be rewritten. Money is an energetic flow that constantly circulates in the world, like radio waves in the air. Imagine a radio station. It doesn't create waves out of nothing, but tunes into a specific frequency to become a conduit for transmitting the signal. It's the same with money. It exists as a stream of opportunities, exchange, and creative energy. But to have this flow pass through you, the right tuning is needed. A mental state that makes you a conduit for this frequency. Sometimes it seemed to me that it was all about effort, that if I tried harder, everything would come, but then I'd notice, I'm drained, and the result isn't what I expected. Only then did it begin to dawn on me. Money is not a goal, but a reflection. When I think, I don't have enough, I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm talking about fear. When I say, I need to work more, it's not about ambition, but about anxiety. No matter how much I plan, set goals, or read books, if inside there's a voice saying, I'm not worthy, if fear is ingrained, the world hears it and reflects it back. But what should be done with these old, broken beliefs? Am I ready to rewrite them right now? Gently. Without struggle. Because I already feel. Money comes not for effort, but for state. When I think of money as a reward, it creates a mental block. First, I must do something. Then I will receive. This linear thinking is limiting. But if you understand money as a frequency, it becomes clear. It's not about earning it, but about becoming that point in space through which this flow can freely pass. Sometimes I look at all this external glamour. Villas, yachts, houses on the hills, and find myself caught in a strange feeling. As if this is not about me. As if there are two parallel worlds. In one, everything is possible. People live easily and effortlessly. In the other, familiar one, you try hard, make plans, but it always feels like you are in the draft version of your own life. I see endless rows of luxurious houses and wonder, where are all these people? Who are they? Why are they not visible on the streets? Why does all this magnificence stand behind closed gates while outside are the usual shops? Ordinary conversations. Familiar fears? Sometimes it seems that it is not just about different income levels. It's as if reality itself has split into those who are tuned to a frequency of prosperity and those who are still living on the survival wave. I understand. It's not a matter of what I'm not entitled to or that I'm undeserving. I've long left those thoughts behind. But something inside still responds. Not with words, but with the body. A microsecond reaction when I see a price and automatically think, expensive, even knowing that I can afford it. This is an old program. It doesn't argue, doesn't make noise. It just works in the background. echoing. You must first prove it, first achieve it. You can't just want it. And if you don't hear it, this vibration will steer, even when you're one step away from fulfilling your dream. Because we've been instilled with the same thing all our lives. Happiness is a purchase. Freedom is a salary. Security is accumulation. But all this is built on fear, on the thought. If you don't buy, you miss out. If you don't earn, you won't survive. If you don't prove, you won't get. Marketing plays on anxiety. It amplifies the old setting. You're not there yet. And you start chasing, not for a house, but for the feeling that everything is okay. And the house may be completely yours, but without inner agreement, it will only be a decoration. Now I understand. It's not about achieving. It's about resonating. I don't need to become someone else to allow myself abundance. I just need to be myself, without distortions, without tension, without anxiety. This is the key because reality doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency. And frequency isn't numbers. It's how you breathe, how you walk, what you feel when you look at the sea and know you are allowed. I thought for a long time that there was something wrong with me, that I just wasn't meant for it. And only later did I begin to notice. This wasn't about me. It was about how my brain was wired. Everything I thought about money wasn't my own knowledge, but someone else's voices in my head. Voices of parents who worried, teachers who taught fear, a world that instilled the idea that money is a struggle, a chance, or a sin. I didn't choose these thoughts. They chose me, simply because I was nearby. The brain is a system of repetitions. What repeats becomes the norm. And if you were told from childhood, money is hard, not for us, be modest, you don't even notice how it became your frequency. An unconscious program that activates every time there's a chance for more. Sometimes I caught myself thinking that I was doing everything right. Yet inside it felt like something was tightening, as if an invisible spring was pulling me back, as if it was not allowed. And only recently did I realize, these are not my beliefs. It's a virus, a legacy of the past, unsuccessful conversations, fears, phrases that were spoken dozens of times and now sound from within, as if they are mine. In reality, it's just neural code, old pathways in the brain that have been repeated for too long. Science has explained this long ago. Our brain is economical. It turns frequently recurring thoughts into automatic reactions. By the age of 35, almost everything you feel and think about money is an unconscious choice. It's autopilot. If from childhood you heard, money is hard, you can't want too much, rich people are dishonest, the body remembers this, not with the mind, but with emotion, through suggestion, fear, and pain. So, when an opportunity arises, it's not logic that engages but anxiety, not analysis, but old defenses. You want to move forward, but the program inside you says, dangerous. That's not you. It's just a broken setting, a limiting script that was recorded a long time ago. But there is good news. The brain is plastic. These pathways can be rewritten, not through force, but through a state, through a new frequency. When you no longer believe in scarcity and start resonating as abundance. For example, when you don't rush, when you eat slowly, when you look at the sky and don't seek meaning, when you allow yourself to rest without guilt, when you say no without fear, when something inside you says, I can, I already can, it's already time. You do not try to be worthy. You simply exist. And this state begins to change everything, because you resonate differently. You do not wait. Do not tense up. Do not fear. You become a magnet. You do not chase opportunities. You become the opportunity. This is not about manifestations. It's about a new frequency of the body, mind, and life. Everything that used to elude you begins to find you on its own. Sometimes I thought I needed to make more effort, that I was missing something, underperforming. But the truth was different. I simply wasn't on the right frequency. I was in a state of control. I was tense, trying to hold everything together, calculate everything, secure everything. Yet, inside, anxiety was still sounding. It was precisely this that shaped my reality because, in this state, money doesn't come as a flow. It comes as compensation, as a reward for the tension. And even if there is money, it's never enough, because you're still tuned into need more, into can't relax, into if I let go, everything will fall apart. But now I see, it's not about money. It's about a state of being. When I let go of control, my breath returns, clarity emerges, and I hear myself again. I no longer think in terms of deserved, undeserved. I just start to resonate like abundance, not as expectation, but as presence, not as an attempt, but as naturalness. This is the shift, not at the level of logic, but at the level of signal. The world doesn't hear what you say, and not even what you think. It hears what you are, the frequency you emit. And when I let go of fear, trust emerges, bringing movement with it, not in leaps, not from survival, but in its own rhythm, through ease, through breath, through harmony. And now just be silent, not for quiet, but to hear how your frequency sounds inside. You might not even know exactly how, but you can definitely feel it. It's not the same sound as before, because right now you are emerging from the old reality. You are ceasing to be someone who lived by someone else's setting. Everything you believed about money can be rewritten, not with words, not with affirmations, but with a state of being. Just stay in this a little longer, and you will hear. The new frequency is already resonating within you. Just breathe. Don't rush. Right now, you don't have to understand or feel anything special. Just allow yourself to be in this new resonance. And if suddenly you start to relax, tears well up, or a strange sensation arises, don't resist. It is simply your energy returning home.